Hey, what's up, vinyl community? It's your pal, Aaron Major. That's right, I'm that guy that's over at the Square of the Circle music channel in Western Oregon. I talk about record collecting and music appreciation and all that fun stuff. So I like to involve myself in the community every now and again and kind of talk about myself and talk about other people and share the love, and that's what we do. That's what community is, right? This is going to be a thread video in the vinyl community for a gentleman by the name of T.C. Kirkham, and he runs a super cool channel called TKR, right? The Kirkham Report, Media Motel or something like that. It's fantastic, man. Your show's great. All of the the multimedia and the presentation and everything's just fucking spot on, man. You're a born YouTuber. So really cool. Stumbled across your channel. You've got a contest thing you're doing to try to get just a bunch of subs, man. You're totally gonna fly to the stars. So good for you. Really great idea for a fun little content kick out on this Saturday evening. I guess maybe you did your thing earlier this morning or last night, but I'm always 24 hours late to everything that goes on the internet. So I like this one, man, because you do a whole report about obscuria. You have your whole it's cool. I really dig that because I also have an affinity toward things that are just novel and obscure, and you kind of want them and you don't really know why. And it's I've made the mistake too of just buying pieces because it's just intriguing, and then over time it kind of grows stale and you're kind of oops. It's a fun little impulse buy, but I'm a vendor on the side, and so I can kind of let things kind of fly away, and then I invite new stuff into my life. So, but great idea for, like I said, a quick content kick out. Let's talk about some of my obscure records. Here's 10. Like you said, we are allotted 10. I might break your rule, I might not. We'll see what happens. But here's my contest entry, homie. So here we go. Here's 10 of my obscure albums. This one's a really cool one. This was on my list of my favorite albums of last year, of 2021. They're a French band. Sometimes you plug one fucking band into YouTube or into whatever, and the algorithm just goes wild, and then it starts, showing you all of this stuff within the same ilk, you know what I mean? And this was one of the first bands it was the band Slift I discovered that was from France. And once I really started listening to this band called Slift, this hard rock, psych rock band from France, they're amazing. You start getting all these different French bands coming at you because the algorithm's yeah, you'll like this. Anyway, these guys from Bordeaux, they're called Little Jimmy. This came out, like I said, in 2021, album called The Cantos. Really cool, elaborate kind of, it's a concept album, but it's not prog or anything like that. It's just kind of straightforward, kind of garage rock, but still has tinges and kind of reminiscent feelings of 90s, alternative rock, basically. So yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody has this in their collection in the vinyl community. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some some guys who collect obscure French alt rock in the VC. Maybe, we'll see. Here's one also, again, it's just kind of pretty weirdo. I don't know, I dig it. I like ambient music. I like electronic ambient, drone, synthesizer, crazy music stuff. I like stuff that's really kind of spacious and cinematic and just kind of atmospheric. I'm a big fan of Harold Budd and that kind of stuff. That's what this really reminds me of, an artist called Deru. This was released only a few years back, maybe 2014, 2015. I'm not exactly sure, but Deru, the moniker of, I think, an Englishman. I'm not sure of his name. Please forgive me. I forget things all the time. But this came out not long ago. It was supposed to be a musical companion to some sort of interesting art film about something or other. You'll have to research it yourself. It's pretty intriguing. But like I said, this was a musical companion to said art project. This guy did the music and the art project and just kind of did it out. It just is, you know what I mean when I say it, kind of like Harold Budd, like ambient piano, also with some really kind of darker, atmospheric, kind of weird things. It just reminds me of like, you know, that you're having like haunting memories, and, you know, you're just like having visions of like, you know, mom and dad getting in a fist fight drunk at like the county fair, and then your uncle has to adopt you, and then he like sexually abuses you, and just like, you guys know what I'm talking about, all right? That old chestnut. Yeah, anyway, that shit's kind of like playing out in your head while there's like sad calliope music in the background. Like, it's not that creepy and weird, but it kind of gives you that sort of like cinematic, you know, like this should be the soundtrack to a David Fincher film. You know what I mean? For real, it's fucking great. It's really obscure. I challenge anybody out there. You guys got this in your collection? I doubt it. I doubt it. It's fantastic. Check it out. Here's another weird one. I like a lot of Scandinavian artists, particularly artists involved in and around the city called Trondheim in Norway. That is home of a bunch of different really fantastic record labels, but one I love especially called Crispin Glover Records. Crispin Glover Records puts out all sorts of fantastic music, but this is one of his, you know, those, again, like flagship artists of that label. His name is Oyvind Holm. Oyvind Holm, this is his solo project. I think he only has maybe 1 or 2 records, maybe a few more now. He just released another new solo record last year, I think. This was quite a few years ago. This was probably 2018, 19. No. This was one of my favorite albums of the year of 2020. So yeah, this was released 2020. It's called After the Bees. Oyvind Holm, Norwegian, you know, just kind of, it's kind of power pop. It's great pop, sensible, rock and roll. He's kind of the Norwegian answer to like our Ryan Adams. You know what I mean? Not Bryan Adams, but in the same vein, really. Bryan Adams, Ryan Adams, whatever the fuck. Potato, potato. But I don't know what they say for the word potato over in Norway. They call it Oyvind Holm. He's fantastic. So, yeah. I doubt anyone has this fucking, man. This came like the whole kit and caboodle. It's one of those like, it's a double LP. Or no, it's actually not a double LP, but it came with a companion 7-inch record as well. I love that when that happens. It's beautiful, like blood, you know, blood and vein, blood and guts, wax. I don't know. I don't know what they call it. But his tragic tale, After the Bees. Yeah. It's not super creepy and dark. It's actually, there's very uplifting moments on this album. It's really fantastic. It's not as like, you know, impending as it may seem. Great artist, Oyvind Holm. Okay, here's an oldie but a goodie, a rarity. This is probably the one that I'm going to show you that there's probably a few guys and gals out there in the VC that might have this. It's a pretty rare record. They only ever did a pressing out of France because this artist is French, again. Teddy Lazary, his album E=MC². Pretty dorky, but really fantastic dorky. Like, you know, he and Vangelis were kind of ripping each other off back and forth, tit for tat for years. There's all sorts of, you know, that type of electronic, you know, kind of goofball music, but I mean, I love it. This one's a little more rock, you know, pop rock sensible than other electronic artists at the time. You know, your Jean-Michel Jarre, you know, he was much more serious and brooding and dark, and all of his Oxygen and all of that, just real like spaced out atmospheric stuff. Mike Oldfield was like really kind of proggy, and, you know, these long, you know, entire LP, you know, long compositions on wax, you know. Lazary's not like that. He's kind of more your kind of like Bernard Esterdy, you know, those French, just kind of like pop, almost kind of like moments of like disco and stuff. This was like 76. Yeah, 76 or 77. Anyway, pretty rare. RCA label out of France. Yeah. So, not a lot of people have this, man, and it goes for almost a couple $100 if it's if it's in mint condition. Mine's pretty damn close to mint, so I don't really think anyone will probably have that though. Pretty sure no one will have this. This is a local Pacific Northwest, you know, rock and roll giant that I love dearly. They're still kind of up and coming. You know, it would probably help if they would like play some goddamn shows. I mean, I know they're playing, I think they got some, not tours, but I think they got some really great like out of town gigs. They're from Seattle. And they've had at least 3 LPs in the last like 7 or 8 years, or more like 10 years. Anyway, this is their newest album, their 3rd LP called Armada. They're called Sand Rider. Like I said, from Seattle, Washington. Yeah, they're fucking awesome. Noise rock, kind of thrash, you know, crossover. More metal than punk, but they kind of have that punk attitude, and they're just fucking killer guys. They're absolutely killer. So maybe some of you VC homies, Pacific Northwest in America, maybe one of you guys has a copy of some Sand Rider, but I doubt it. They're fucking awesome. Great band. Here's some more of that kind of local sound, my personal local sound here, Pacific Northwest, the United States of America, Oregon, the state of Oregon to be quite specific, but these guys, again, I think are probably from Washington, Seattle area, or maybe they're from Portland, I'm not sure, but I think Suicide Squeeze is the name of the record label that they put their albums out on. I think Suicide Squeeze is based out of Portland, so maybe these guys are a Portland band and I didn't even know it. No, I read that they're from the Midwest. They're from Ohio. Anyway, I'm babbling. This is a band called 6 Parts 7. You should read up on these guys. They're really cool. I just like researched the name because I couldn't figure out what the name is supposed to be about. And it's a really interesting, really cool story. But anyway, the 6 Parts 7, their album called Casually Smashed to Pieces. This is a fan-fucking-tastic album. More of that kind of alt-rock, like I said, Pacific Northwest, alt-rock stuff, but a really cool mishmash, all instrumental. Well, you know, I think not on this album, but on one of their earlier albums, I've heard them do some vocalizations, but this album is all instrumental. Really great guitar melodies. It's all clean guitar. I think there's 2 guitar players. Both have a clean sound, and it's all just, it's not chord based, you know, it's all really intricate, arpeggiated, you know, the way they kind of play their guitar grooves around each other. It's very cyclical, and all kinds of ethereal instruments added, like some vibraphone here and there, some mellow trumpet here and there. Just, yeah, it's very, very Pacific Northwest-y. It's fucking great. So everybody check it out. Pretty uncommon. Never really talked to anybody that knows about that band. So here's another French artist. Yeah, that's like the 3rd French artist. This was my favorite album, my very favorite album of last year. A band called Gin. They are from, also I believe, from Bordeaux, France. But yeah, Meandering Soul is the name of this album. This was my favorite album of the year last year. Intense, very intense, psych rock, but very kind of metal, hard metal, like kind of, I don't know, man. It's not like crazy thrash or anything, and it's not really doom, but they get kind of like hardcore. They're really fucking hardcore at times. They have a woman singer, and she just fucking slays, dude. And she plays the electronic harp too. Yeah, man, I don't know. There's like really cool prog elements to this. Really, really effing cool band, guys. So yeah, if you guys are into kind of the heavier psych rock, with some crazy like kind of crustcore inspirations, you know. Yeah, excellent fucking band. Gin. From France. What else do I got to show you guys? Lots of cool stuff still. This is a really fantastic kind of modern contemporary jazz album that I still, after owning and selling once and then acquiring this album over the span of like 12 years, 10 years roughly, this magnificent contemporary jazz album. I have it back in my collection again. It's super rare and weird. No one really knows about it. It's just really moody, atmospheric, low-key, 3-piece jazz called The Still. It's very heavy and driven by the upright bass, just that mellow kind of, maybe even fretless kind of sound, you know, just that sliding up and down, really low-key bass, keys and drums. That's it. And just track after track after track of just kind of like, I'm just gonna go get lost in the fog. You know what I mean? This is a Lost in the Fog album. Pretty cool. The Still. Self-titled. Yeah. This record label, never really heard of it. Series A Phonos. I don't know if it's from another country or I don't know. I'm not sure where it's from. Sorry, guys. These guys, fuck, I'm not sure where they're from either. I think they're from Germany. I think I read they're from Germany, but they're on that fantastic label that I love, based out of Denmark, out of Copenhagen, El Paraíso. This is a group, again, with kind of more jazz inspirations, but still really like heavy, hard rock, like really cool fusion. Just a magnificent fusion that I'm really loving a lot these days of like heavier psych rock fused with jazz. And man, those Scandinavian countries and Northern European countries and Germans, I guess, too. I think these guys are mostly, I think they're German. No, I'm wrong. Their names, dude, they look like they're Swedish or Norwegian. But anyway, love the shit out of them. They're called Kanon. Kanon? I think that's how you pronounce it. Album's called Windborn. Came out probably, I don't know, 2018, I think. But yeah, love the shit out of this album. More like that stuff that I talked about. The band Kazu Sui, Papir, yeah, Mythic Sunship, all of that stuff. The Impetus 38, El Paraíso label, all of it. It's like, seriously, go to their website and throw all of your money at them. Buy every album, by every artist on this label. You will be happy with it. All right, guys, I'm down to like my last one, but I'm going to do a little, I like to throw curveballs at you guys, and I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do a little kind of special mention here before I get to my last one. Some more crazy, obscure shit, and I guarantee you nobody in the vinyl community has this for certain, because I was in this band. And this is an album I didn't play on this album, unfortunately. But this is a band I did play with when they had a faction here where I live in Eugene, Oregon. The guy who's the collaborator, lead singer, songwriter, collaborates with another gentleman, Ben Schaff, in this band, but also, yeah, my friend Davis Lukrich. These guys had a band. I auditioned for it. I played the drums for this band for like about a year and a half. And before they picked up, or Davis did, and Davis is back in LA. So Davis went back to LA and has another faction of this band that he still plays with down in LA and San Francisco, all around the Bay Area. They're called Growler, Growwler. And he released this album called The Even Tenor of Growler. Magnificent LP. Everything about it is fantastic. You can look way close in here on the special thanks. Where are we? Well, I'm down there somewhere. The collective would like to thank a few people, and then bam, I'm right there. Aaron Major. Special thanks on the, yeah. It was a really fun time in my life. So just wanted to show this off just kind of as a special mention. It's a really fantastic album. I'm sure you can listen to it somewhere, probably on YouTube or maybe on Bandcamp or something like that. But these guys still play together down in the Bay Area. Pretty sure. Love you guys. Okay, last one for you. Thanks for letting me, gab at you for so damn long. But this is a really fun idea. So thanks again, TC, for doing everything you do in the vinyl community and all your super cool videos. Thanks for letting me join in on your contest. And BT Dubs, by the way, I was sent here to you by way of Glenn Kellaway from the basement. So definitely add an extra entry for that purpose alone. And I think what you were trying to get at for even extra credit points was that you said if somebody was directed by a guy, so Glenn Kellaway gets the point, but then again, if that secondary person, which was me, or tertiary, whatever, how the fuck it works, I don't know, I'm also making a video, so I think Glenn Kellaway should also get another boom in the hat. So whatevs, that's my point. I hope that's how your rules work. So cool channel, man. And thanks for letting me play along. The last one I wanted to show you is, again, another Norwegian. I think they're Norwegian. I know they're Scandinavian. They're from up there somewhere. But they're more along the lines of just kind of like a straightforward kind of just like, not alt rock, but just kind of like a power pop mixed with kind of some progressive rock sensibilities. They're kind of like the Scandinavian answer to like Radiohead, I like to say, because they just have very, very similar musical sensibilities and everything they do. I love it. Lots of like folk roots and inspirations and some classic rock inspirations, some electronic and, like I said, prog inspirations. Really cool. Band called Soup. Album is called Remedies. I believe this was 2019. Again, that Trondheim, Norway label called Crispin Glover Records. Crispin Glover Records out of Norway. And yeah, this band called Soup. Their album Remedies, it's just 100%, 110% badass. Super good. I guarantee you none of you motherfuckers in the VC have this album. And I have a terribly damaged copy that was sent to me by the company itself. Damaged like this. Pretty fucked up. But the vinyl's in great condition, so yeah, been spinning this for a long, long time. Love it dearly. So thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Tell your friends about my channel too. Like and subscribe. I'm Aaron Major from the Square the Circle Music Channel in Western Oregon. Thanks for visiting me. Peace be with you. And keep them clean, nerds.